how it's supposed to be is your heart is the what. Your mind is how to get the what.
Making it happen, and we so passionate. Right. With dental training, growing your dental practices every single day. Gotta keep rising, be a better version of you. We call it Kaizen. Yeah, practice biopsy. Going up, no stopping. Yeah, practice biopsy. Let's go.
Hey guys, it's DeAngelo Dr. Webster here, and I have a great guest who is also a former classmate of mine, Dr. Sohrab Ansari. So we've been colleagues in the same class since we got out of school, and Dr. Ansari and I were probably definitely two of the earliest of our class to own practices. And Dr. Ansari has a very unique journey, not just to practice ownership, but to be a dentist at all. And those of you who follow me and in Practice Biopsy know that I love books and I love reading. And Dr. Ansari has just become one of our colleagues who is also now an author. So we're going to talk about his book today and what you guys listening might be able to learn from that book, some of his life experiences, and just really a unique story overall. It's going to be informal. So, Rob, we're going to take it easy. No stress on this. We just want to talk about the story and see, like, what other dentists could learn and the things that you learned along the way that are life lessons and are valuable things. So I have I'm going to show the camera here. So this is the book. Where are we at? This is the book. It's called Passer. It has a pretty nice cover that has some meaning behind it too. But I want to read something from the description that says, so it says on the description, it says, why am I not happy? If the career, the family, the life that looks right from the outside, why am I not happy? This book knows why. What does this book know about, Sohrab?
Before I start, I'd like to take a minute and thank you for taking the time. And you have done an amazing job with your community. The community you have built is incredible, and I appreciate that. And I practice one of the lean and mean philosophies in my own office, and it's been really helpful. Yeah, I run some of your ideas in my office. It's been incredible, and low overhead and all of that. I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to take you a little bit back.
Yeah, take us back.
Before I answer, yeah. And I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan. I grew up there in a war, and I moved to the U.S. when I was 14 years old.
Yeah, and you were working when you were in Afghanistan. You were working as a child. It says in that description too, like you were working in like a childhood shop. Just for the people who are not familiar with that, because in the United States, that's like not. It's hard to wrap their mind around. What is that even like?
Well, I was working 12 to 14 hours each day, 6 to 7 days a week, non-stop. Probably 10, 9, 11, yeah. Mm-hmm. And I would wake up very early, open the local shop. It was a small convenience store, very small. And, just selling stuff and that was part of the job. The second job, it was more, we had a small agency of Coca-Cola. So I would deliver Coca-Cola cans to other shops throughout the day. And I did that for years and years. And then we moved to Pakistan. I lived there for about 2 years. In that 2 years, I was selling plastic bags at the grocery store. And that's how we made a living. And then in 2000, early 2000 or late 1999, I moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. And yeah. And then, long story short, we met in dental school. Yeah. Dental school. We always talked about practice ownership, business, earning a little extra, getting out of the system. We always talked about it. It was one of our main goals. So I did all of that. I had a successful office, beautiful family, 3 amazing kids, friends, and
real estate,
a ton of real estate. Yes, thank you. And I did all of that, but then again, there was this void, this emptiness that would just come take over. Every couple of weeks, it would just come, and I would try to distract myself with a bunch of stuff. And one of them was, just going to a bar, finding new projects to work on, and it was never ending. And one day I broke down. I broke down. I was picking up my mother from the airport, and I just broke down, and tears were just coming out of me. It was uncontrollable. It wasn't crying. It wasn't like for one reason you have grief. It was just like something was just pouring out of me. At the end of that drive, there was two questions. Why am I not happy? One question, one statement. I cannot stay like this. And that's how it kind of started.
Mm-hmm.
That was after that, COVID happened and a lot of alone time. I start to notice that to be happy, to be set, to be fulfilled, is your heart and your mind have to be in an agreement, and your body needs to be well enough to experience it. Simple as that. So there was a massive disagreement with the deeper part of myself. The mind wanted to do certain things, but the heart didn't want any of that.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't being true to myself. It's true to my deeper part of self. And that disagreement led to the gray, the void, if you want to call it. Yeah. Before that, I was 50 pounds overweight, probably over 50 pounds. And on the outside, I did have a life, but I wasn't in it. It was not my life. I was building a life that was handed to me in some ways.
That's kind of what you mean by passenger, the title of the book. From what I understand, the passenger is like you're building this life, but you're kind of just along for the ride.
Right. The passenger in the book is the heart. The passenger is the heart. The heart is the passenger in our body. The body is the vessel. The passenger is your deeper self.
Mm-hmm.
In that. Yeah. So that's summarizing the book. And
so what is like one of the core things that you would say you learned in the process of writing the book?
I learned anything particular, you mean, or just
like
in general?
I would say as you were exploring the topics that you want to write about in the book, what sort of feelings or lessons did you feel were the most important to include?
Right.
Like things that you learned through, like you said, overcoming being 50 pounds overweight, things that you learned from slumping into maybe depression or the grayness that you fell into. What are some of the biggest things that were helpful to you that you included in the book?
Right. Well, the biggest thing I realized that our mind takes control, right? The mind is taking control of how and what, okay? And in reality, or how it should be how it's supposed to be, is your heart is the what. Your mind is how to get the what. And your body will carry you to get to that place, right? So, but the mind, somewhere when we are young, is given the job of doing two things: figuring out the how and the what. Mm-hmm. So the heart is actually where it's your compass. That's where you need to be asking, what should I do? Mm-hmm. Right.
So what do you, once you went through this process, what would you say is something that you did, or something you do now, or a way that you live now that you did not do before? Right. Like, how have you come out of this better?
Right. And you gotta connect more to your source, to your heart. So what I do now is meditation. Well, I did a lot of meditation at the beginning. But now I carry my meditation throughout the day. Whatever I do, I focus 100% on it. And that really helped quite a bit. And there's so many practices I have on the book, but one of them, like I said, is the meditation and being able to connect. We live in our mind. right? Continuously. It's going on. It's either in the past, either in the future. And it's programmed. From the day we are born, it gets programmed. And the disconnect increases as we get more programmed through the system, society, religion, colleagues, all of these things. The heart gets buried. So one of the exercises, well, not one, but the most important one is you gotta get connected back to your source. That's your heart. That's your deeper part. Some people call it soul, spirit. The name doesn't matter. What matters is that there's something beyond us. And that is the part that's being neglected. And that is why, have you noticed, like Will Smith is a good example. I know you like him, and I like him too. He's a great actor. He always talks about like, how, he's like, no amount of money makes you happy. He has a bunch of podcasts he talks about. For me, that was like $50,000. I met that where the money or the fame or whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. Your mind will get you there, right? But the deeper part of you didn't want that, and that disconnect is the regret. The disconnect leads to the unhappiness. So So get connected more to your source. Take the time to actually sit alone. Take the time to reflect on your life. Take the time to write down your goals. Not just actually initially probably all the goals that you have, but down the line, you may want to actually pursue the goals that resonate with you, not with your mind, but with your deeper self. And those are some of the practices I would say.
How do you feel like through your process of growth, you have shown up differently as a doctor? Like, do you feel like you show up better to work, or different attitude going to work, or different attitude with leadership of your team at work? Or do you feel like that's been pretty much the same?
Absolutely. First, like in the past, I used to be very, let's call it reactive, right? If something happened, my whole emotion was riding on what would happen throughout the day. I was waiting, right? If something good happened, I was feeling happy. If something bad happened, I would probably feel a little down. Mm-hmm. Now I have a steady flow. The emotions are steady. I set my own tone early in the morning. I put my hand on my heart. I literally feel joy, love, and gratitude every single morning before I wake up, when I wake up, and before I go to sleep. So in that, people could feel that. I'm no longer at the mercy of other people, including my patient or staff, to feel down. Yeah. So there's.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, yes, it has changed. Like work doesn't stress me anymore. I'm grateful to be there. I'm grateful to serve my patients. I'm blessed with amazing team members, and I still, there are still challenges that come around, but that's part of owning a dental office. You just find a solution and implement it, and hopefully that would be the last time you have to deal with it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite chapter from your book?
Chapter 7, The Bagger.
The Bagger. What is that? What is that about? I skimmed some of your book. I noticed you have a lot of stories. So tell me about The Beggar.
Yes. So The Bagger, I used to be a bagger, okay? I was begging for a lot of things. It wasn't money. It was not anything financial, but I was begging for people's approval, people's acceptance, people's love, people appreciation, all of that. I was asking for something that I had it the whole time. I wasn't giving myself all of that, but I was asking other people, can you please love me a little bit? Am I worthy enough? That is The Bagger. I was begging in that scenario. Yeah. So The Bagger is my favorite chapter in the whole book.
I know in the introduction, I think there's a story, something like you get in the car and you fall asleep and then you wake up and you're at the destination. What is that story about?
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it starts with that. It starts with, imagine you're a passenger, right? Imagine you get out, you sit in this car that drives itself. right? As soon as you get in that car, you fall asleep. And then you get to a place, you're like, where am I? How did I get here, right? Where is this place? And that becomes the routine. So in that scenario, the passenger is the heart. That's the heart. The heart gets in there, it falls asleep. We dose it every single day by distractions, by keeping busy, by ignoring it. That is that. The vehicle, the automatic vehicle, that's our mind taking us where the mind is supposed to take us, right? And the vehicle is our body, which has been ignored, not taken care of, never serviced. So that's the three centers with three part of, I guess, the vehicle, if you want to say. Yeah.
I know you have 3 kids. What is a lesson from your book that you would want your kids to know about you?
Oh, about me?
Yeah. Oh, like, this is part of Dad's story.
Right,
this is something I want you to know.
That's a good question. Oh, I love them. I will always love them no matter what. Yeah. They mean the world to me.
I think there's a lot in your book about the journey to mental health. And being a dentist, we know a lot of our colleagues, they struggle with mental health. It's not a secret. It's a big challenge for many dentists. How do you think this book could be an asset to help dentists who maybe feel like they are struggling or maybe going in the wrong direction with mental health? Right.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you've made a lot of progress, like just through the whole story.
I came very close to actual physical breakdowns, but also like mental to some really tough areas. Well, first and foremost, don't give up. Life is beautiful. I'm sure everybody has support system. Find your support. Talk with the professionals, and just know that there's more to what you have been told and programmed, right? It's most of the war, most of what happens is in our mind. The mind is programmable, right? It has been programmed in the past, and you can program it back in a way that can actually serve you in a meaningful way. So you just have to realize that it's been a code that's been installed in you to be sad and miserable. And you can remove that code any day. And you can do it. Sometimes you need a little help, and that's okay. Get the right person to help you uninstall those codes. And once you do that, the life that you always wanted is very possible. How you feel are the codes that has been installed in us since we were born. You're not good enough. You can't do it. You're not worthy. I suffer from unworthiness my whole life. I thought I had to learn. I had to prove my worth every single day. Mm-hmm. I feel like there was I had to prove it to every single person, and I had to work hard, and I had to suffer. So for me to feel worthy, to be even alive in this world, right? Mm-hmm. But that was not true. What is true is I'm worthy to be here. You're worthy to be here, right? You're worthy of everything, and so is whoever is suffering, right? See, that's where the disagreement is. The heart says that you're worthy, you're lovable, you're capable, you're infinite, you're fine. But the mind disagrees with that. The mind is, because it's been programmed, it says, well, no, you gotta earn your worth. You gotta earn XYZ to feel all of this. That's the disagreement. And so you can unlearn that. That's what I'm trying to say. And it's very possible. And get the help if you need to.
Yeah, I like that. Tell us about the cover. What does it mean?
The cover, that's the divide itself. The shadows are the divided
So
self.
tell people a little more who
And
can't see it as clear. What are we looking at on here? I think you have a big one. Tell people what we're looking at and how you
right.
came up with the idea.
Well, is it blurry?
Hold it still.
Okay.
Hold. There you go. There you go.
So the body, that's the vessel. That's one of the centers.
Hmm.
Okay. And then you have the two shadows. Okay. That's the divided self. Okay. One says one thing, the other one says something else. That's the argument that we all have within ourselves, right? These three birds, they have two meanings. It also means the three centers: heart, body, and mind.
Hmm.
But they also represent my three kids, each one.
Oh, that's
So
beautiful.
yeah. So that's yeah. And the passenger is the heart. The passenger is the heart. That
So how did you come up with the metaphor that the heart is just the passenger? How did you come up with that metaphor or the idea? Or when did it arrive at you?
as I was writing, it came to me. The heart is the passenger, because it's, if you take a second and look at majority of the culture, they believe that something goes beyond. When the body dies and we bury it, something that goes back.
Yeah.
Right. And every culture and religion, they have different names for it. Right. So that's the heart. That is the passenger. So it's a passenger because it's temporarily and it's taking a physical form in this world. Right. Yeah. And then it goes back to the source. Everybody has their own definition of the source.
I'm really interested to read the book. I'm going to order it today, and then I'll probably write a little review of it and post it too for you. What else would you want people to know about your book? Like if they're thinking maybe they want to buy it, they see the cover, they read some clips. What do you want them to know about it? Because I know you worked a long time on this book and you put a lot of energy into it. What do you want people to know about this book?
Right. The biggest message is that you're complete, you're whole, you're fine. All the things, all the lack exists in the mind. And the mind is the place where it's been trained and code has been installed in us from an early childhood. And those are the things that are withholding us or holding you back from being where you need to be. Each one has different goals in life, but those codes are the one that is actually holding you back. And there's nothing lacking in you. You're complete, whole, and you just need to uncover that wholeness back.
Would you say that part of the challenge is like filtering out the noise? It's like filtering out the noise in the mind to get to the core of what really matters?
Absolutely.
That sounds a lot like Lean and Mean.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So talk about that. How is it like Lean and Mean?
Yeah, you're right. It's the distraction. It's all the unnecessary equipment, unnecessary, supplies, or in your case, you always talk about a big space, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you really need that big space? Do you really need to spend $800,000 on a build out?
Yeah.
You don't need to, right?
Yeah.
You can do it in a
Yeah. And maybe like in your case, like you have the mind and the heart, right? Maybe the mind is like, well, you need to do this to be worthy. You need to have this kind of car. You need to have this kind of house.
Yes.
You need to have this and this and this and that. And you need to make this much money.
Yeah.
But then the heart says, well, no, we don't need that.
Right.
This is what's more important. You have to take care of these, take care of your kids. You take care of your staff. You take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. The heart is, the heart keeps on telling us that, well, for me, okay, I was at the friend's house. It is in the book somewhere. Mm-hmm. I was at the friend's house, and again, that gray was every couple of weeks. And here's the thing. Most people think the gray or the void that comes, it shouldn't happen. Actually, when that happens, that's actually the heart waking up and telling you, it's a little like, hey, wake up, we're not where we need to be.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was at the friend's house and I was washing my hand, and then I looked at the mirror, and then there was this voice. I wouldn't call it voice. It was like
Just a thought.
a thought. It's complete. It's like, be true to yourself. And initially it made no sense. There was two thoughts. The second one was take care of your body. Take care of your body. That one made sense. I was overweight. I was eating junk. I was drinking beer on my days off. It was just like, I was. You could see the inflammation in my face. You could. I was physically in a really bad place. That one made sense. But be true to myself. That part didn't make sense. It made sense at all. It took me months and months and months of reflecting on what that meant. I was not being true to myself because I was living this other life. I had a whole life. I was just not in it. Where this part of me didn't want the big practice, didn't want to expand, didn't want to, more money, didn't want all of these things. This part of me wanted a healthier body, wanted me to play a little bit, wanted me to, be okay with myself. All of those things were being ignored through the process. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I think that's a really nice way to kind of wrap things up. I like to keep these about 30 minutes. We're right about 35 minutes. I think that's a beautiful thought to leave the audience with. So anyone who wants this book, it's called Passenger by Dr. Sohrab Ansari. And the best place to get it is available on Amazon, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Is there any other resources or website they should visit to learn more?
Waybacktoyourheart.com.
Waybacktoyourheart.com.
Yeah, if they want to, the introduction is there for free. If they want to
yep. I love that. All right, my friend.
Hey,
thank you for your
so
time.
much.
I appreciate you, and I hope you're doing well.
Same.